बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
हे राम राधा
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिधर यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
राधा बिहारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरधारी
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन
यमुना तीर वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राम बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय उस्मान
पाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव बिंद की जय, नमाचार शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त बिंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव बिंद की जय। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता की जय। प्रभुपाद की जय। गुरु महाराज की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। सो हम शुरू करेंगे आज का भगवत गीता का हमारा डिस्कशन, जिसमें हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं, जैसा कि हम हर बार करते हैं, आज का जो श्लोका जो हम कवर करेंगे भगवत गीता से, वो टॉपिक के अराउंड है कि हाउ टू सेटिस्फाई आवर अनलिमिटेड डिजायर्स, राइट। तो आज जो हम 6-7 श्लोक भगवत गीता में समझेंगे वो इन टॉपिक से रिलेटेड रहने वाले हैं। तो पहला ये है। दूसरा, अगर आप लोग कंफर्टेबल हैं तो आप लोग जो भी पॉसिबल है जिसके लिए, वो लोग अपना कैमरा ऑन कर रखेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा। एक इंटरैक्टिव सेशन रहेगा। हम कम लोग ही हैं, लिमिटेड लोग हैं यहाँ जूम पे। तो whenever you feel comfortable, आप you can switch on your cameras and we can be live together, like more like classroom, virtual classroom. Okay, so I'll start now. You can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
ॐ
नमो
नमो भगवते
भगवते वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय नमः।
Om Namo
ॐ
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ॐ
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ॐ नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय
वासुदेवाय
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयात्मधीरये नष्टप्राये सभद्रे सुनित्यं भागवतस्य मज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुपोर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणललितां तां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् श्रीगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्तांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. So we are going to read today from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 text 65, and today's topic is around how to satisfy unlimited desires in this world. So Krishna is going to explain today. The way we do it, that we'll read one sloka each. Each person can read. If you want to join, I'm live on Instagram also, but in case anybody wants to join, for them, saying that they can join on Zoom or can post your question on Instagram also. And yes, so we'll get started. Today's 65th sloka of Bhagavad Gita. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hani asyosapa. Okay, you want to repeat? That's good. So let's repeat that. Prasade sarva dukkhanam
प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां
hani rasopasjayate
हानिरसोपस्यायते
prasanna chetaso hasyus
प्रसन्नचेतसो हास्युस्
buddhi paryotisthite.
बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते.
So I'll read translation. There is no purpose. So I'll go. We'll go to next one. We'll read translation by Srila Prabhupada. For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. So just to give a little background, last week we covered few verses from here. Very famous verses. Dhyayato visayam pumsa sangos upajayate sanga sangayate kama kama krova vijayate. And then we read krodhad bhavati sammoha sammoha smrit vibhrama smrit brahmasha buddhinaso buddhinaso pradashyati. This was the formula how people fall down, how people get into bad habit. So how they do that? While contemplating the object of senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from such attachment, lust develops. And from lust, anger arises. And from anger, complete delusion arises. And from delusion, bewilderment of memory. And when memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pole. So Lord Sri Krishna is explaining in these slokas how people get into addiction, bad habit, attachment, deep attachment. And this is how it works. And we have all experienced this, right? Anything we want, we think about it. We don't, we have a desire, then we try to satisfy it. When not satisfied, we have anger. When anger comes, then our brain is almost bewildered. Our memory is lost. In anger, we don't remember who is good, who is bad. Anger is very powerful, right? It takes over our body, our mind, our consciousness. And when memory is not there, then intelligence is not working. And when intelligence is not working, then, right, not all is well. So then next sloka we read last week. Ragadvesu vimuktasya visaya indriyanascharan atma vasye vidheratma prasadam adhigachyati but a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principle of freedom can obtain the complete of the Lord. So then in Bhagavad Gita, the way things are described is in contrast. Okay. So one way Krishna is explaining what happens when you do this, like when you have attachment, lust, anger, greed, delusion, intelligence, lost, and then what happens. And then other way, contrast, Krishna is explaining here, ragadves vimuktasya visaya indriyascharan atmavashye vidheyatma prasadam adhigacchati. But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses. So what happens when you have control over your senses, then you become free from attachment and aversion. How, right? So very simple example, like somebody is very much like sweet, right? But then person has a diabetes, but the person likes sweet so much. That's how the diabetes actually came, because the person likes sweet so much that he just eat a lot of sweet whole day and years, right? So a lot of time. The diabetic is also genetic, but most of time it is not genetic. People get what because of eating a lot of sugar. So what happens if they have a lot of attachment for sugar? If you ask them to, so sugar attachment comes from tongue, right? The tongue, sugar is nothing but a chemical. The tongue birds like it. So people have attachment for sugar. So then people start taking artificial sugar, right? There is what they call synthetic sugar, artificial sugar, right? So what happens? They still try to satisfy their tongue by artificial sugar. At the same time, they're thinking that their diabetes will remain in control. But actually, artificial sugar does more harm than actual sugar. There is a lot of research now. So it's not a good idea. Many times we try to replace our attachment to something else, right? In this world, from the same world, right? Sugar versus artificial sugar, right? So, but that doesn't work. So, which means then we have to control the tongue. It's not that give tongue something like artificial sugar. So it's better to not take sugar at all because I have diabetes, right? And also, so that's called aversion, where you're trying to avoid something called aversion. And also, when you are attached to something, it's called attachment. Attachment, we know. Aversion, we think it doesn't. Aversion is also very powerful, right? Especially when you see another example, if you take, when you don't like someone, like you dislike someone badly, you hate that person, or hate that place, or hate that smell, or hate anything which you literally cannot tolerate. That is aversion. And that's like attachment, because wherever you go, you try to look for that, whether that thing exists. It's like a phobia thing. Some people have phobia of something, like dogs. So if they are walking on the street, they still feel there could be somewhere dog, and they're trying to find where is dog, right? Like there is no dog, right? So this is a phobia. So that's aversion. That's also attachment because it controls your senses. So both attachment and aversion we have to avoid, get free from. How? By controlling the senses, right? How you control the senses? Krishna is saying regulative principle of freedom. So last week we discussed how there could be freedom when there is a regulation, right? How could be there is a freedom when there is regulation? Because generally, freedom means there is no regulation. That's a worldly description, definition of freedom in our mind is freedom means there is no regulation. But actually, if you remember last week, we were talking, when India got independence in 1947 from British rule, then we got freedom, right? Like Bharat Mata ki Jai, that was the situation. But then, immediately after freedom, we had an Indian constitution made, right? Constitution of India. What was that? That was a regulation on whole country, how you're going to operate the country, what will be rules and laws and rules and everything was being set. It took 2 years, and by 1950, January 26 January 1950, we had a full constitution ready, which can be implemented, everybody will follow. So there was a regulation. And whoever is working under that rule of law by constitution is free in the country. But whoever not following that constitution will be captured by the police and government, put into the jail, right? So then person is not free. But whoever is following the constitution is free. So there is a freedom in regulation. Actually, in most of places, freedom comes with regulation. If you're following the rules and regulation, then you're free. But if somebody is not following that, they are fearful, they could put into jail. This is all legal thing, you know, all over the world, right? You're driving on the road, you have the license, your car is license is good, you have a driving license, you are following your lanes, which means you are following regulation, then you are free to drive on the road. But if police sees that you are not following the rules and regulation, then immediately you will be stopped on the road, taken out from the road, right? Because you can hit anyone and there could be accidents. So they don't want crazy people driving on the road. So that's a regulation and freedom. Everyone is clear about this, right? Any doubt, any sansaya?
Got it, Prabhuji.
Thank you. So similarly in classes, in everywhere there is a regulation, then there is a freedom. Wherever there is no regulation, think of a country like, anybody wants to give a country name where there is not much regulation, like there is no rule of law, like anybody can do whatever they want to do. Any country you know in the world?
In US, Prabhuji, having guns and those things, it's legal, right?
Yeah, it is regulation. So they misuse that regulation in freedom. So that is a separate point. But the question is, do you know any place or any city or anywhere when you see there is minimum regulations, what happens? The freedom, right? Freedom is less or more? Question is clear what I'm saying?
Can you repeat it again, Prabhuji?
Question is, do you know any place or visited or you know where there is not much regulation, what happens to the freedom?
No, I think it is all countries or all cities.
So there are countries in the world there is not much regulation. Like suppose country doesn't have any democracy, any constitution, any rule regulation, people can do whatever they want to do, then it is not freedom, because then police is always trying to catch some people and put into jail, right? Because people don't want to be regulated, they want to be free, right? So as Pavitra was saying, the result is, if you give freedom in wrong aspect, like guns in America, then the freedom given becomes chaotic for other people, because some people feel free, but most of people feel terrified or feared. Because if everybody has a gun, you never know who is going to operate that gun when and who will be killed, right? So the gun thing is in US people understand, in India we don't understand. But so we'll go to the next verse we read today. So then where Krishna is saying, prasade sarva dukkhanam hani raso pasajayate prasanna chetaso hashur buddhi parivartishthate. For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer, and in such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. Right? So we'll read next sloka. Who wants to go ahead and read text 66? Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2,
Shall
sloka
I read,
66.
Prabhuji? 66.
Yes.
नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयतः शान्तिरसान्त्यस्य कुतः सुखम्. One who is not connected with Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcended intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter, 5.29, that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penance, that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, and that he is the real friend of all living entities, then only can one have real peace. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal, and when one is certain for that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace. However much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life, Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mantaji. Hare Krishna. So this is called peace formula. One of the peace formula. There is another peace formula later comes in Bhagavad Gita. But this is personal peace, right? So we are all trying to be happy and peaceful in our life, some or other way, right? But it is not evident. Most of the time, we don't think about it that I want to be peaceful and happy. We always think of achieving this will make me happy. Actually, we always talk about happiness. We don't talk about peace. Because many times people are trying to derive happiness, even they are disturbed, right? Like people who take addiction, they get temporary happiness, which is their neurons are blocked by those chemicals and they feel they're out of body and all kind of hallucinations. I have never felt, so I don't know. People who have felt can describe better. But people who felt, they describe that it is out of the world, that's happiness. But there is no peace, because when they overdrunk, they harm themselves, their own body. And when they go out of intelligence, out of brain, they're going to harm others around them, right? Not just in family, but neighbors, society, it happens. So there is no peace. There could be happiness for one person, but not peace for everyone. Peace means internal peace as well as external peace, right? So why is that? So peace and happiness is very much connected, right? My question to you is, just take a moment and think about this. Which comes first? Does peace comes first and then happiness, or happiness comes first then peace? Think of any time in your life when you were happy. So what was the situation at that time? And also when you were peaceful, what happened there, right? Some point in time you must have been peaceful or happy or both. So think about it, which came first? Does peace came first and then happiness, or happiness came first and then peace? Okay,
Peace
exercise
came
for
first,
me.
Prabhuji. I think peace came first, then
Yes,
happiness.
then we'll be very happy if we have peace.
Okay, so majority is saying peace first, followed by
Yes,
happiness,
Prabhuji.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Both are
Now,
correlated.
yes. So
Both
Prabhu
are
is
correlated.
Sushil Prabhu is saying they are co-parallel, right? They come together, probably, right, Prabhu? They're correlated. So
Correlated.
more peace, more happiness, and more happiness, more peace. That's a proportional, directly proportional to, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's define what is peace. So how you define the peace? What are the different components which contribute to the peace? And then we'll come back. Let's define happiness, right? Because unless we define these two things, it is very hard to understand what is this, right? Because if we don't understand, we will not able to define the goal, our goal towards these two things, right? Happiness and peace. So let's think about it. You don't have to deeply think on scholarly. In your own life, you must have felt peace. So if you have to define that, what contributes to the peace? What about the situation? What are the things which you think led to or manifested when you felt peace? What are those maybe places, people, situations, anything,
I think nature and think about my Krishna.
Okay. So Mata Anuja Mataji is saying nature and thinking about Krishna. So yes, nature is like, green, natural places, mountains, rivers, sea, beaches, your own garden, or maybe your own village, your own field, right? Okay. So,
Meditation.
okay, yes, sitting down and controlling your breathe and meditating on something which you have been practicing.
Yes.
Okay. So meditation. Next. Anyone else want to contribute?
Yeah, temples. If we sit in temples also.
So places like temple. So
Yeah.
we found out nature, places,
Yes.
internal breathing. Think about both external and internal. You have to think both. So internally, which is part of your body, your own consciousness, your own body, and external is like places, time, people, situations, all that. Okay. Anyone else wants to say something? Add.
I think, sir, my peace is a state of mind.
Peace is a state of mind, so it's internal. Okay. Okay.
Even
So
when I work also, I feel that peace.
you feel happy or peace?
Yeah, peace and happy both are there.
So
Yeah,
right now we are talking, but
are there. They disappear automatically. I don't know how it is.
for a momentary you feel peace, like for a moment.
Yeah, when I
Like,
work also, I just chant the God's name. That's it.
okay. Okay. So okay, sometime yes, people working does not mean that you are working on a job or anything. Working could be just cooking for Krishna,
Yeah.
cleaning for Krishna, reading for Krishna. Some activity gives peace, right?
Yes.
So, okay, so especially spiritual things. Okay, spiritual things give peace, like any spiritual activity, if we say, or any devotional service activity. Okay, so we have 5 things so far. So we had nature, which is like, different situation, forest, natural things. Then we had places like temples. Then we had meditation, like breathe control and, focus on certain things, focus our brain or chanting Hare Krishna mantra, and including spiritual activity, fourth one. And then we also have, what else? Did I miss anything? Okay.
And when we are with kids.
Kids, peace. Yeah, you see them playing, happy.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So you feel contempt, right? Inside your heart, you feel like, oh, okay, that's nice. Thank you so much, Krishna. Thank you so much. They are happy, right? So that's a peace overall. So you see, to get a peace, actually we need so many things, right? First, first of all, it starts with our body, right? Any kind of peace, as you know, Susil Prabhu was saying, is a state of mind, right? Yes, it is a state of mind. It is a state of mind, nothing with your consciousness, right? So to get a peace is very costly, right? Because you have to arrange so many things to get a peace, right? You have to find places, people, situations, everything alignment, then you get peace. And peace doesn't come every time. It comes once in a month or year, or sometime many years in people's life, right? There is no peace. Actually, they are going through one versus other, one versus other, one versus other. Sometimes they get little happiness, but then again problem comes. Then the thing which gave you happiness gives you pain. So long-term peace is not there. Short-term is mixed with happiness and peace. Okay, now go back to the happiness. So how do you define happiness? It's also, again, a state of mind, of course. That's why people, drug addict and all, they also feel happy, and hippies also feel happy. So how do you define happiness in your sense? What is happiness?
I think achieved our desires.
That is, okay, fulfill our desires. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, sir, please, Prabhu.
Actually, Prabhuji, it is state of mind when mind is undisturbed.
Yes, that's why I'm asking how mind is undisturbed. Like, what is the things which contributes to happiness in your sense? Like,
Reading spiritual discourses, spiritual books like
Yes.
Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam.
okay, so that's good. That's like spiritual activities also give happiness. But most of time we are not doing spiritual activities. Most of time we are doing something else, right? Which is not
Spending with family and listening to music,
happiness. Listening music,
walking.
cooking for family, eating food you like,
Yeah,
right?
walking.
Smelling
Yeah.
flowers, fragrance you like, you feel happy. Talking to people
Yes.
who are friendly to you also gives you happiness. The biggest happiness comes, as Anju Mataji said, when our desires are satisfied, we feel happy,
Yes.
right? We have so many desires daily or every moment, actually. You may have a small desire that, can I get a mango lassi right now? And if somebody immediately brings you mango lassi on your desk in a glass, you're like, oh, wow, I'm happy now, right? Chocolates, ice creams, right? Meeting someone you never met in last 10 years, suddenly you're walking on the street and you're meeting them, gives you immense happiness, right? You didn't plan for it, you didn't even desire for it, but you just met them on the street and you feel happy, right? So happiness is something, you see, the things which gives us happiness in positive sense. For example, if I had a desire to get a lot of money, I feel happy. I have a desire to have a house, I feel happy. I have a desire to have a son, daughter, family, I'm happy. I have a desire to get big position, become a big politician, big person, powerful person, I'm happy. But moment these things go away, in some point, like they will not, you won't get it. Like you got it, but you lose it. Like our health, our body, right? Our money, our people, family. When they are taken away, the same thing which gave you happiness will give you distress, right? Everyone agrees? The
Yes.
same thing in this world which gave you happiness will give you distress. That's the nature
Yes,
of the world.
Prabhuji.
Right? Some things, so that's, which means then it is not permanent, correct? That right now which is giving me happiness, maybe later will give me distress, right? Like example, eating a lot of sugar. Right now, tongue feel good, but then later I'll get diabetes in a few years, right? Taking drugs, taking medicines, or these drugs which initially gives happiness, later people become addicted to, and their body's paralyzed. They can't even walk, right? Forget about living life. They can't even live in this body itself. So everyone agrees to that, right? The
Yes.
statement that things which gives us happiness will also sometime point in time will give us distress, right? So which means then it's not true happiness, because it changes with the time, right? So then this come back to this sloka now, the one we just read. One who Krishna is saying, one who is not connected with Supreme in Krishna consciousness can neither have transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. How can there be any peace without happiness without peace? So peace comes first, right? Therefore we agree here that what we discussed, peace, Krishna is saying, first you need peace, and then you can feel happy. Because suppose if I give you 1 crore right now, it will disturb you, right? Because somebody can kill you to take out that money from you on the road, right? I gave you money, may feel happy for a moment, but next moment you will feel fearful. You're not peaceful, you're fearful. Because you have money, you're happy, but you can't enjoy that money. You need peace. Peace is a foundation, right? That's why in the world you see there are a lot of rich people. They have a lot of money, a lot of wealth, a lot of power, even big family. They have a big family, everything, name, power, beauty, everything they have, but they're not happy. They're not happy because that's why they are taking drugs, they are committing suicide, they are doing so many nonsense things in life. Why? To get happiness. Why they're not happy? Because they're not peaceful. Those things which they have collected by illegal means, somehow exploiting others some ways, they don't know maybe, or many times they know actually they did it. So that doesn't give them peace, right? Because peace you cannot buy by money. That's why I'm trying to come to the point here, that we think we can buy happiness. Yes, you can buy temporary happiness. You can buy happiness. But where you're going to enjoy that happiness, you need that foundation of peace. Suppose if I give you 1 kg rasgulla, right? Sweet, you like so much. I give you 1 kg and you take in your hand. How much you can carry in your hand? Maybe 4 or 5. You put in your mouth and you keep in. Okay, still there's so many will fall down. So the happiness comes to us so many ways, so many ways. But we don't have that plate of peace. If I give you a plate, big plate, you can put all the rasgulla there, and then you can enjoy that one by one, right? So you need that foundation of peace in life. And peace doesn't come from money, doesn't come from people. As everyone said, peace is very much internal thing. It's metaphysical. Even happiness is metaphysical. You cannot mathematically define what is happiness, what is peace. It's metaphysical, right? So therefore, you cannot construct it. It comes from your inside. And that's what Krishna is trying to say here. How it comes? First line. One who is not connected with Supreme in Krishna consciousness. So we need a connection to get peace in life. How you get that? First of all, the whole thing starts with senses. So we should have peaceful senses, right? We should not have a violent mouth, violent eyes, violent nose, ears. Everything has to be in mode of goodness, at least in Sattva-guna. Not in passion, not in ignorance. If the senses are in passion and ignorance, and how the senses, what they do, they involve in certain activities which are full of passion, ignorance. So activities, it all starts with activities. And in any activity, you need 2 things. You need objects and you need senses, right? So suppose if this is a phone, this is an object, and this is my hand and eyes. So to enjoy this phone, I have to look at this using my eyes. So my eyes are senses. This phone is an object, and looking at this phone is called activity, which is looking at it, eyesight, right? And the information I'm getting back to my brain via eyes is a information. It's like a process. It's an activity of looking at it. So senses, activities. Now, if we have control over the first, our activities, the object of the senses, which engage in activities, so we have to control all five. Control, I mean, if you have a regulation on it. Remember, regulative activity of freedom. So yes, I will look at for just for 30 minutes. I will not use for 20 hours a day phone, right? I will not use late night. You have to control time, place, circumstance, and regulate the activity of looking at phone, right? Then my eyes will be happy and healthy. I can look at for longer time. My brain would be peaceful. So what eyes does? They are connected to our brain, right? Intelligence. So Krishna is saying, intelligence nor a steady mind. So to have intelligence and steady mind, we have to control the senses. So when we control that, we have regulation over senses, then our mind is peaceful and our intelligence is peaceful. And then we can have peace. That's a basic requirement. And when you have peace, you're naturally happy, actually, right? But it's not other way that you have, if you have happiness, you will not, you may have peace, may not have peace. There is no guarantee, right? But if you are peaceful, definitely you are happy, right? Right? So that is a basic formula, to be peaceful or happy. So to be happy eternally or long-term happiness requires peace in our life, right? Everyone agrees? Everyone is clear what I said just now before I explained you? Senses, intelligence, mind, and then happiness and peace, right? Clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So now hopefully you can explain to others what is all about this, right? So and now first line, if you see, this is sloka, one who is not connected with Supreme, to Krishna. So connection is important. Why connection is important? Because Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. If you read this, therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Because why? We need final goal for the mind. Because mind is always looking for goals. Mind is very restless. It is always trying to find what to do. Mind is crazy monkey. It's all every moment trying to look for what to do. It will give you two things, acceptance and rejection. That is the function of the mind. Accept it, reject it. That's what mind is doing. The senses brings different things to the mind, and the mind says yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. That's the function of the brain. So then it would be very turbulent, right? Because every moment, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. That's what mind is doing in our body, right? So, which means then it has to fix somewhere, because if you're so disturbed when doing that, you may not be happy because the mind is not happy. So need a final goal, at least some goal where the mind can anchor and focus on, right? And when that goal, Prabhupada is saying, disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal. Mind not just needs a small goal, it needs a long-term goal. It needs an ultimate goal. Because even there is research studies, you'll see the people who have purpose in life, they live longer, they are happy, they are healthy, they are peaceful. This is a study. If you see countries in the world with World Happiness Index, the happiness index, the top countries is Bhutan, because people have purpose in life. Which means their mind has ultimate goal in life. So they are happy, right? And when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer. So in our case, in Krishna consciousness, we have ultimate goal in life, right? If we make that this is my ultimate goal, what is my ultimate goal? That I am spiritual, I am not this body, I am spirit soul, and I have to understand what relationship I have with Krishna. What is my relationship? There's so many relationships Krishna has with other people. What is my relationship? There was some relationship. I lost it. I don't remember it. Now I have to understand what is that. That is a very big goal for the mind. And the process to understand what is that relationship is by chanting Hare Krishna mantra and reading scriptures, understanding Bhagavad Gita, right? So that's what. If we get that ultimate goal in life, if we could somehow or other find out this and fix in our brain that this is my ultimate goal, what happens? What is that goal? Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything. Then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. That's where the peace will come. Because peace is not there because we are fearful that whether I have a true friend, whether or not my family member may cheat sometime, possible, my workplace is not going to help me, my country is not going to protect me, my money may get lost. We are not sure of so many things in life. That's why we are not peaceful. But if we accept Krishna and surrender to him, then we know that don't worry, nothing will go away. Even if I lose this body in some point in this world, I am not dying. My soul will continue to exist eternally. That is the biggest assurance, because the biggest reason for not having peace is to fear of death. Everyone has fear of death, whether it's ant, animals, humans, demigod, everyone fears death. And and death is what? Transfer of soul from one body to another. When the soul leaves the body, that's a state called death. Some point in future we'll discuss what is death. But right now we just touch that. Death is when the consciousness leaves the body. That's called clinically dead, right? No activity. So if we know that, no, this is not the end of this world, or even if I lose this body, I will have another body according to my karma, and I'll continue to exist until I realize my spiritual identity, then we are not fearful. We are peaceful in any situation, right? So hope this is clear to everyone, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we'll read two more sloka. Who wants to read? Any volunteer to read sloka number 67?
Can I read?
Yes, Mataji.
इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनो अनुविधीयते तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावमिवाम्भसि. Translation: as a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. But unless all of the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, even one of them engaged in sense gratification can deviate the devotee from the path of transcendental advancement. As mentioned in the life of Maharaja Ambarisha, all of the senses must be engaged in Krishna consciousness, for that is the correct technique for controlling the mind. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, so I think same thing being said here, that we have to not leave any senses free. If we leave even one senses free, it can make your mind turbulent. So we have to work on every senses. It's not that, oh, I'm doing Mauna Brata, but I'm looking around everything, looking everyone, and then thinking, okay, I control my senses. Even one sense can lead us to undisturbed mind and which will take away our happiness and peace. And that's why we are asked to control over all 5 senses, right? Okay, we'll read next one. 68. Anyone? Mataji, Prabhuji? Bhagavad Gita chapter 268.
If you want, I can read Prabhuji 68.
Yes, please, Mataji.
तस्मात् यस्यो महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वसा इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रिय अर्धेभ्यस्य prajna pratisthita. Therefore, O mighty armed one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. One can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness, or engaging all the senses in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As enemies are curbed by superior force, the senses can similarly be curbed, not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. One who has understood this, that only by Krishna consciousness is one really established in intelligence, and that one should practice this art under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, is called a sadhaka, or a suitable candidate for liberation.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is same thing being said here, that we have to restrain. We have to understand this. We let's little bit touch on this. And for myself also, I want to say this. And you can say, many times we hear the talks and we also read, control the senses, like have a control over senses, right? So many times we hear in lectures everywhere, you know. But have you ever sat down and just ask yourself, what does it mean controlling the senses? What does it means to me when it comes to controlling the senses, right? And here it's not controlling, it's restraining from their objects. Restraining, controlling senses means, in this case, Krishna is saying, restraining from the objects, right? So what does it mean, restraining from the object? Okay, open to everyone. Please share. What do you think about this controlling senses and then objects, restrainment? Yes, Prabhu? Sushil Prabhu?
We keep engage our minds in the Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
Krishna can control your mind, like engaging your all action in your mind in God Krishna.
Okay. But what about people who doesn't have, they don't believe in Krishna? Basically, they're not, for them, what does it mean to control the senses? Like, do you even try to control the senses? Basically.
I think avoid the situations.
They try to avoid the situation, yes. They
Yes, by controlling Panchendriya.
yes. So to controlling means what? What does it mean? How do you define that? That's what I'm trying to go deeper. How do we define
Yeah, that
controlling the senses?
Yeah, whatever we see, if we like that, we want to have them. we can see, but we can't expect that to be ours.
Okay, you give an example. For example, if you have to give explain to a kid, like how do you explain what is control of senses, like graphically, like describing that in daily life, right?
Yeah. They want more chocolates.
Okay.
Then I have to tell them what effect they have if they eat more chocolates.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
tell them the effect of eating more chocolates, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Then I have to explain them what is good, what is bad about chocolates, so that they'll understand.
okay. So basically, you are explaining them effect of taking the chocolate, and
Yeah.
thereby which they can have control over eating chocolate, and thereby which they can have control over little bit on tongue
Yes.
taste,
Yes.
right? Ultimately, it's a taste of tongue, right?
Yes.
So you're helping them to control one object, which is tongue.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, that's a good thing. So but it's not every time kids understand that, right? Because sometimes they have a
Yeah.
strong desire to have chocolates.
Yeah. They can have chocolates, but not more.
Okay, so it's a regulative principle of freedom. So it's
Yes.
a regulative principle of freedom that okay, have chocolate but limited, not in the
Yeah.
night, in the
Yeah.
daytime.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. 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 So Krishna here explaining it's a force, it's a powerful force of sense. Senses are very powerful, right? Everyone agrees it's very powerful. Like to avoid certain sight, we don't want to look at. Everyone feels that senses are very powerful. Do you even feel like yourself, your senses are like going away? You want to control it, not able to control it.
Yes, sometimes.
Yes, Prabhuji, always.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And can everyone, okay, let me pause this. Maybe you can give one example, which when you get into that situation, you feel like very strong sense of senses power. Like I can give one example. I'll start myself. Um, something. I have this habit of to be right many times. To be right, I want to be right, even if I'm wrong. Okay. And if somebody says something against me at that moment in time, which I strongly feel that I'm right, and if somebody is saying very much against my views, then in my mind, I feel very bad. Like it's literally, I want to give rebuttal immediately. I don't want to kind of stop, pause, and think about it. I want to give them immediate response. Okay. So that's my kind of, I feel at that point in time, I feel like I'm not able to control that emotion of responding with my tongue. So basically tongue control, right? It's very powerful. Like, so what I have to do, either keep my mouth shut or leave from that place. You just stay away, like move on little bit. And then after some point, I realized, oh, I was wrong. Good that I didn't say anything. My tongue was trying to say something. I was able to somehow stop it. Somehow, it's like a very powerful force. Um, okay, so that's my example. Anybody wants to share your example?
If some people, they are like, they want to argue with us, whatever they know, that is only correct. then
Mhm.
I feel like, yeah, I will say only one word answer. As per the my knowledge, this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing. That's it. I won't speak much about that. I just keep quiet in whatever situation. Only one word answers, then keep quiet. Then later they'll realize and come to me that whatever you said is right or wrong.
So what you're controlling that point? Which senses you are controlling in that situation?
I'm controlling my senses because I don't want to argue and prove that I'm right, I'm wrong.
So you're not controlling. That's your natural right, or you feel like saying something but you don't say it intentionally.
Yeah, if I tell, then they are like they continue that argue and they'll not understand, and at that situation they are not in a position to understand. So I just give them some time so that they'll realize
Okay,
that.
so essentially you're trying to say something, but you want to say something, but you don't say intentionally, right? You don't want to.
Yeah,
So
only
you
one
control
word.
that
Only,
desire of speaking. Same thing, right?
yes,
Like you're trying to
yes,
control.
yes.
Okay, that's a good example. Anyone else?
I have an example, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Like, uh, like recently, like one of my roommate, like, they used to speak about all the material things and especially about people, like like some unknown person or a colleague maybe. I don't want to hear all those stories. So I try to, like, I cannot uh, tell her that I don't want to hear this because I felt like I don't want to get into that itself. So I try to avoid her. But since she's a roommate, I will not be able to avoid her. So I
Mhm.
engage my senses, like I put my earphones, engage my senses to songs. I engage my seeing to watching some bhajans or things like that. And sometimes if I sense that she's going to come and start speaking, I put on some kirtan and start singing and engage in that. So
Okay.
completely like different senses according to different situation. When I feel something okay, it's not good, I engage in that way.
Yeah. So you're controlling your sense of hearing,
Yeah, sense of
and
hearing
you
mostly.
don't want to hear certain things, and
Yes.
so you engage your hearing in something else. Okay.
Yeah.
And sense of hearing is sometimes very hearing is very hard actually, because many times we don't want to hear others, we want to speak, you want to say something. So if somebody has a very strong sense of hearing and control over not closing the mouth and then hear others, it's very good quality. So good. Thank you, Mansi, sharing. So anybody else inspired to share anything? Which senses you control? So we covered tongue, ears, now eyes and skin. And one more, nose. What about eyes? Anybody wants to give example for controlling eye senses? Which you in your personal life, like everybody like has different um, attachment and aversions. Okay, Prabhu, Kastaba Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Not to watch movies or the mundane dramas and only watching the activities related to devotion. That is
But did you in previous years did you like watching movies and hearing songs?
not much. I was liking to watch science related activities, not movies or songs.
Okay, so in order to give
That
up,
is
we should have a strong
occasionally I
attachment.
used to watch, but that also now reduced, like once a year or even less than.
Okay.
Previously, at least 4 or 5 movies in a year I was watching.
That was not attachment. That is natural. Like there are people
now
who
it
can
is
watch
reduced.
I have watched like at least 5-7 movies in a day. Like
Okay.
sit down and watch for like, for hours and hours, a whole night, right? Watching the movies on YouTube or dish channels, and when I was in 11th, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
So giving up means you have anything and you gave up and you control your senses, or you felt that force. You still feel that force, maybe that, oh, my senses wants to do that, but I don't want. I control them. I don't engage them in that situation. Anything, like we all had something for sure. Like I have many examples in my life.
Prabhuji, I have one weird example. I mean, presently. So that is like Instagram in my reels was always full of Premanand Maharaj or any videos from ISKCON, anything related to Krishna consciousness only. But recently, like some of my close friends, they told me like, see, you are getting married, and if you are completely into this, you will not be able to enjoy
Mhm.
few things. Your mind will only be restricted to everything. So uh, try to listen some songs and like that, they told. So I
Mhm.
just tried once to watch a reel in Instagram, and as you know, Instagram, if we do one thing, it starts coming up, it populates everything with that, right? Now
Yeah.
presently I see the ratio of the reels, more of all this material things and very few of Premanand Maharaj things. So
Yeah.
whenever I go to Instagram, I'm looking for Premanand Maharaj's reel. But what something from the material things catches my eyes, and my mind says, okay, let's watch some 2 to 3 of this, and then we'll continue with Premanand Maharaj things. But
Yeah.
it's very difficult to control right now, Prabhu.
Thank you.
I'm
No,
struggling
thank you.
actually. Yeah.
So the reason I'm asking everyone to think about it, because if you do this exercise, then you will be conscious of your own body and senses, like where they are going, like what's going on, right? If you're not conscious of how they are getting engaged, because sometimes they may be just sleeping, and the time will come, they will like stand up and they'll be like, oh, wow, I didn't knew this. Is this me or is this someone else right now, right? So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And it's a phase of life everyone goes through in different, desires and comes out. Desires are like a suspended animation condition. And when the time comes, they sprout, they grow. Okay. So desires will be there, to all the senses will have some engagement, as Krishna is saying. And we have to, Krishna is saying, one whose senses are restrained from their object is certainly of steady intelligence. So how you do senses, control your senses by, how you restrain your senses by have strong intelligence, steady intelligence. So how you get steady intelligence? By having a steady brain, like mind also, right? How you get steady mind? By have steady senses. How you get steady senses? By have steady sense engagement, right? How you have steady sense engagement? To be in mode of goodness, right? Because passion and ignorance is disturbed. And when it feeds into senses, feeds into mind, minds goes in intelligence, is all gets messed up. Okay. So then question comes, how to do that, right? How you can do that. So Krishna will explain further in Bhagavad Gita, but just to give you a basic answer to this question, we all have our body. This is material body, and we have our spiritual being inside in our heart, as per Bhagavad Gita, our consciousness. So how do we get different type of bodies? Everybody has a different body. Genetically also we are different. Okay. So every living entity gets a particular type of body. It's awarded. It's awarded by material nature as per our nature in past life, right? So also our desire. So if we wanted to enjoy a woman in past life, we got an woman body. If we wanted to enjoy a man, we got man body. If we wanted to become very powerful, we got very strong body. If we don't wanted to do that, we didn't get that. If we wanted to eat a lot of meat, we got a lion body. If somebody wanted to have a big body, got a whale body, elephant body, right? If somebody wants to have a lot of children's, you get pig's body. One time, so many children want to live in dirty place, become hogs, right? So modes of material nature gives us certain type of body. Krishna awards us so that we can satisfy our desire in this body. Okay, that is a basic principle. That's why we have this body. Right now, we have this body because we wanted to enjoy and satisfy our desire. So Krishna gave us body as per requirement. Now coming to the Pavitra Mataji's, and this is natural. Everybody applies to the same thing. We are going through this. So suppose if somebody is getting married and your husband or wife is not Krishna conscious, so how are you going to be happy? Because then it has to be matching. We always have this suspicion that how I will be or will be happy with this person who is not in the same modes, so-called modes of material nature, which is goodness, right? In this case, spirituality, goodness, passion, people look for passionate people. Ignorant people will look for ignorant people to get married. But what if there is a passion and goodness, like relationship, right? Or passion and ignorance, or goodness and passion, or vice versa. So many combinations, these three modes, okay? So how do you know that's going to work? So first, we should have faith that if Krishna gave me this body and gave me this consciousness and this nature awarded by modes of material nature to me, imposed on my soul, which is pure spirit soul, then whatever is coming on my way is as per my requirement, which I desired previously. I don't know right now, but I'm getting because I desired some point in time. It's my karmas coming in now, okay? Now, whether next person, our partner, our fellow, will be compatible or not, that is also getting you awarded. It's not that you choose that person. Actually, we don't choose most of time. We just get it. Either you get it by situations, you get it by arrangement, you get it by, by mistake, or you get it by so many things. You get it. Your decision making only 5-10%. But 90% things get just ready, right? So now, what to do? So it's a bad bargain, right? It's a bad bargain. You don't want, you get it. What to do with that? We have to live happy with it. So best use of bad bargain. That is a philosophy. That's a formula. So whatever kind of husband and wife we have or partner we have, what we do? We have to do bargaining, right? Because it's a bargaining world. You do this for me, I do this for you. This is how it's working. And that's how it's going on right now. Whether you believe it or don't believe it, in this world, the pure love doesn't exist. Okay, this world is not for pure love. This is conditioned love. And conditioning means situational. Situation means some terms T and C, right? Put in there, right? So we have to accept that. And we know we should have trust that whatever Krishna is supplying me is as per my requirement, what I wanted in my life. And he will also arrange in such a way. Now, if I change my desire right now, if I have changed my desire right now, that I want to have a spiritual life, then Krishna will make everything spiritual. I don't have to do it, because the way I desired, I got something. If I desire now, I'll get something in future, right? That is the faith. That is the thing. Okay. So we should not feel anxious. We should think Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart as a super soul. Krishna is controlling the whole cosmic manifestation. He will ensure that I will have happy life. And even if he doesn't ensure that way, maybe that's my karma, because that's how I wanted. That's my past life karma. I don't know what I was, what I did, whom I lived with, what did I do. I have no idea about it. So let me surrender. Whatever it is, only thing Krishna keep me peaceful and happy and engaged in your service. Because rest I don't have any control over. I can't do much, right? So if I chant Hare Krishna, have faith, this is my own personal life realization. Krishna will arrange for everything perfect, because he is perfect. So whatever he does perfect. Now that statement, we should have faith. And many times our faith dwindles because of situations, because we are not very strong. We don't have a steady intelligence. Right now we just read. Because of that, it changes. Don't worry. You pull it back, pull it back. That's how we do things, right? Is that clear to everyone? This particular thing which we discussed?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So maybe we can finish this chapter. We have 15 minutes more. We started 11:30. It's 12:53. So 1 hour 23 minutes. So, or we can read one sloka and then we can end question answer and then end it. And next week we'll finish this chapter 70, 71, 72. Okay. So let's read next one and then we'll end here. Who wants to read?
Shall I,
69.
Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hello, Prabhuji. या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागृति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि स निशा पश्यतो मुने. What is night for all being is the time of awakening for the self-controlled. The time of awakening for all being is night for the introspective sage. There are two classes of intelligent men. One is intelligent in material activities or sense gratification, and the other is introspective and awake to the cultivation of self-realization. Activities of the introspective sage or thoughtful man are a person materially absorbed. Materialistic persons remain asleep in such a night due to their ignorance.
We lost you, Prabhu. Can't hear you right now. So I'll read. Introspective sage remain alert in the night of the materialistic man. The sage feel transcendental pleasure in the gradual advancement of a spiritual culture, whereas the man in materialistic activities, being asleep to self-realization, dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distressed in his sleeping condition. The introspective man is always indifferent to the materialistic happiness and distress. He goes on with his self-realization activities undisturbed by material reactions. Hare Krishna. So, this sloka, I was not able to understand for long amount of time. This night for all beings, time of awakening for self-control people. I used to think that if you are a devotee, you have to stay awake whole night and sleep in the day. That's how it feels like. You read this sloka, feels like when people are, materialistic people are awake, I should sleep, and when they are sleeping, I should stay awake. That's what it is saying, right? A lot of people take that way, right? Do you also, when you first time read, do you felt like that? What do you
Yes.
think? Night and day thing. It was not very easy for me to understand this. Like, so how do we understand this slok in this world? How do you define night? Let's define night. What is night?
Ajnanata.
About the spiritual knowledge.
स्पिरिचुअल वाला नहीं है, सिंपल वाला। लाइक रात किसको बोलते हैं दुनिया में? अगर बोल के कोई बच्चा पूछेगा मम्मी पापा रात क्या है, तो क्या बोलोगे? स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज का एब्सेंस। बोलेगा फालतू, कुछ नहीं, रात क्या है?
Without sun, Prabhuji.
Absence of light,
Yes.
right? Darkness is night. And what is day?
With light.
Sunlight.
Sunlight. Yeah. Not our tube lights, right?
Yes.
Flash lights, like floodlights in stadiums. When there is a match, you see it looks like a daytime, like so much light, right? Okay, so presence of light is called day, sunlight. Let's take sunlight, not any kind of other light, because in night also there is a moonlight. You don't call it a day, you call it as a night, right? So presence of sunlight is a day, and absence of sunlight is a night. That's all over the world. Right now it's night in your place, but it's the day in my place, because I have a sun, you don't have a sun. Sun, I mean sun, Surya, not sun. Okay. So that's a definition, right? Now in this context, what is day in a spiritual sense? When you say it's day, which means presence of sunlight, so what does it mean, presence of sunlight in a spiritual sense? Okay, a lot of people, you have heard this torch light of knowledge, like knowledge of light of knowledge, right? This phrase, light of knowledge, have you heard? You must have read in Bhagavad Gita 100 times, right?
Yes.
So what is that light of knowledge? So it took me a lot of time to understand these phrases, because if this is not clear, we won't understand this meaning of these slokas, you know, what they are. So light of knowledge means actual knowledge of the object as it is, right? For example, okay, if I show this phone to someone who have never seen the phone in their life, they have never seen a cell phone in their life, what they will call? If I show this phone to 10 people from 10 different backgrounds, somebody will say, this is black color object. It's something black, because they have never seen phone. They will call it black. Oh, somebody will see backside, they will say normal black. Somebody will see front side, say shining black, right? Somebody will tell me the size. Oh, it is 10 inches long, you know, 3 inches wide. When I switch it on, oh, there is something inside it. There is a picture inside that dark color thing, right? So everybody has different level of light of knowledge about this phone. Somebody knows the phone. Oh, this is Samsung Galaxy. Looks like Samsung Galaxy. You know, this is a smartphone. This is not. But someone who may be working in bomb squad, another days, oh, maybe this is a bomb, right? This is something dangerous thing. If it kept somewhere which is unattended, nobody is touching, nobody is using it, just thrown on the street, they'll think this is maybe bomb, you know, because they are thinking, they think from their knowledge, whatever knowledge they have, we see things as per our knowledge, right? So that knowledge, light of knowledge. So that's called spiritual sense. And But actuality, if you come back to this phone, in actuality, there is a true knowledge about this phone. What is true knowledge? There are so many knowledge. Everyone brain has different knowledge, but there is a true knowledge. And who can give us true knowledge? The person who made this. Samsung Galaxy company. Like Samsung will give us a booklet explaining what is this, how many amperes battery it has, how many hours it will work, how many it is 4G, 5G, 10G, whatever, what megapixel camera, how long it will last, all that. Who will give? The person who made it, because they have a perfect knowledge. Other people may not have perfect knowledge. It's all relative, inferential knowledge, but the person, manufacturer, will have perfect knowledge. Right? Everyone agrees to that? You're following me till here? Because this is very important concept in spirituality to understand. So please follow, very focused. So what happens? Similarly, now come back. This world is manufactured by Krishna. He made it. Via Brahma, Lord Brahma, he gave intelligence into Brahma's heart and he created this with the help of modes of material nature. It has certain expiry time as per time limit, certain million years. It will get finished, destroyed, go back for recycling in the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's tummy, get recycled back again, right? So manufacturer has the perfect knowledge, and that knowledge booklet comes in Bhagavad Gita. That's our manual for this body, right? So only Krishna can give us the perfect knowledge. Nobody else can give you perfect knowledge because he is the manufacturer. So if anybody wants to understand this world, this world, how it works, what's going on, how this body, how it is, this our brain, mind, intelligence, ego, senses. If you want anybody in the world want to understand this, they have to understand from the manufacturer's manual, booklet, right? The user manual, which is Bhagavad Gita. If somebody is trying to understand from somewhere else, they will never understand whatsoever they try. Like the people who have no knowledge about this phone, if they try to understand by their own speculation, lifetime, they will never understand. But if they once read this manual given by Samsung, they will immediately understand because that's a factual knowledge, a perfect knowledge, right? Similarly, if we read spiritual injunctions, scriptures given by Krishna, manufacturer of this world, we easily understand it. And when you get that light of knowledge, then even in so-called night, you are aware this is night because sun is absent. It's not night. It's just the absence of light. What is this world? This is material world. I know this. I am a spiritual soul. This is material world. What are my relationships? They are material relationships. They will get one day lost. Everybody will die. Nobody is here to survive. One day we will lose everything. And at one point, we will lose this body also. Right? So I am so much proud of my everything, my education, my money, my beauty, my fame, my power, my everything. One day it will go. How we know? It's given here, and also we have experienced it. We are seeing around us people gone. Our grandfathers may be gone or will go. Their fathers go. Everybody went. Why not me? It can happen. So that is the right knowledge. But if somebody thinks, no, I'm here to live. I want to live longer. I want to be forever happy. Not gonna happen in this world. So then, yes, you want to be living forever. You want to be happy. You want to be successful, beautiful. Yes, you can get it, but not here. Go to the spiritual world. Satchidananda, right? Satchita Ananda. You get there, not here. Here, Asach, Asat, Achit, Nirananda. This is the world. So if we understand this fact from the manual given by manufacturer Krishna, then we are in day. But if we are not doing that, we are in night. So that's the definition of this sloka. What is night for all being in the time of awakening is the time of awakening for self-control. So the people are sleeping. They're thinking, oh, this world came by chance. This will exist forever. I will live forever. I will be forever happy. No. They don't know factual knowledge. So that is called sleeping state. That is considered sleeping state. But the person who knows, like us here reading Bhagavad Gita from Srila Prabhupada, we know, we are in knowledge, which means we are in day. We are always awake every moment. If we are in touch with Bhagavad Gita, we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is like our alarm. Every moment, Hare Krishna. We are alarm, not every moment. At least whenever situation comes, we are conscious. We are conscious of. We don't have to change anything. We are conscious of our state. What I am, what are my relationship with the world, what is my relationship with my body, money, family, my own things in this world, what's going on. Then we can have peace, right? Then we are introspecting. We are introspective sage, actually. Here Krishna is saying we are Muni. All of us are Muni, right? Because we are thinking. We are introspecting. We are not just looking at things and taking as it is. We are introspecting. Okay? Is this clear to everyone now? This concept of day and night?
Yes.
Yes, Guruji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we'll stop here. All goes to Prabhupada. All goes to Bhagavad Gita. All goes to Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any